Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the Kings Lynn and West Norfolk series based around Kings Lynn, Hunstanton and Downham Market. There's 101 of them in this one. Time to go walking. Welcome back to Kings Lynn and West Norfolk, everybody. Now, you know how sometimes when we go to a village they have their own designated car park? Well, here in this place it doesn't, but it does have this very weird piece of hard standing. And I've got absolutely no idea what this is or was or anything like that, but it's the ideal place just to park the car for a walk around this very, very tiny village. And this is a place where peacefulness certainly comes as standard. Welcome to the extremely small Choseley. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Right then, are you ready for a place which is so small it literally is a case of blink and you'll miss it? I'll tell you how small this one is. It doesn't even have a village sign. In fact, the drive-in you're watching now is actually a drive out, which I did after the main filming. The reason for that is because, well, there's almost nothing here. This is Choseley, a tiny hamlet which sits a couple of miles south of Thornham and Titchwell and around the same distance east of Ringstead. Its name means gravelly grove or clearing. Only 18 people call this place home. Choseley consists of a cluster of houses based around a road junction. No fewer than 5 roads meet at that junction, but none of them are major. Despite its tininess, Choseley will be a place a lot of locals will know thanks to those roads. Traffic passes through here regularly via them to get elsewhere, but very few cars ever stop. This place does have some historical note, but a lot of it is guesswork. It was supposedly the site of a leper hospital and of a church and a much bigger medieval village. Today, it only has one listed building. Choseley did, though, in 1988 attract the attention of the local council, and in this video I'll show you how. This was a ridiculously short walk, guys, and I truly believe for the first time ever I filmed every single property in a village. Let's go. We begin at the piece of hard standing where I was for the intro. I reckon this was part of some kind of military defence. Choseley's location made it ideal for things like pillboxes during the war. In fact, there is a pillbox in the village somewhere, tilted over on the edge of a sandpit. This white house overlooks the central village junction. It's a staggered affair with roads that lead to Thornham, Titchwell, Ringstead and Docking. Right on this junction is the village's only listed building. That would be Choseley Farmhouse, the oldest part of which goes back to the year 1600. Most of it dates from 1840. I'd be quite happy to bet it's the oldest house here, especially when you consider the properties which make up Choseley's main cluster. That's these buildings here. Now, believe it or not, the place actually does have a parish notice board. Big or small, we've got to do them all, so it's on the board with a card. This notice board also displays the village's largest achievement. In 1988, Choseley received an environmental award from the Lynn News and Advertiser in recognition of its efforts in their Keep West Norfolk Tidy programme. Next to the board is a post box, so I guess that's one amenity the place has. There's no post office though. Choseley once had a church, and the village was bigger than this in medieval times. By the 16th century though, the church and the entire medieval village it served had disappeared. Records show there was also a leper hospital in the parish too, in operation before 1200. Nothing of the hospital now remains, but there are theories that suggest that Choseley farmhouse may be built partially of limestone reused from it. The exact location of the medieval village, the church and the leper colony are not known precisely. Human burials have been found at the farmhouse though, suggesting it might be built on top of the church's cemetery. Mind you, like I said, this is all guesswork. So you can probably imagine with a place this small, it's kind of difficult, A, to plan a route, and then B, to know exactly whether or not you've hit everything. But here in Choseley, I think I actually have managed that, because all the houses are clustered around that one central junction, and I don't think there is much else. And the farmland around, I don't think there's really anything of any historical importance either. So really this is just a clump of houses in the middle of nowhere effectively, but it's quite quiet apart from the odd passing car. Of course, when you've got, you know, a few roads linking together in one place, you know, cars will come through because, you know, it's kind of like a meeting point, isn't it, to get elsewhere. But I very much doubt that many people stop here, to be honest with you. They just use it as like a thoroughfare to somewhere else. So there you go, that's effectively Choseley. That's quite a good thing about its award though, isn't it, in 1988. Mind you, I don't want to speak ill of it, but I suppose when your place is this small, it is kind of easier to keep it tidy. But take nothing away from the achievement, I think it's fantastic, it really is. So what I'm going to do now is walk back to where I parked at that piece of hard standing, which is over here, and I'm going to keep the camera rolling the entire way because I like my videos to be longer than 8 minutes, and at the minute I don't think I've got 8 minutes of footage. So I'm going to take a steady walk back. You never know, we might spot something else on the way. These are nice trees, for example. Didn't spot them as I walked down. Wonder what they're all about, because they look quite new. And there could be something else. There's no church here, there's no chapel, there's no shops, of course, no post office, anything like that. I mean, there is obviously the post box, but no real amenities. Nearest village for them would be, I assume it's Thornham, unless Brancaster is nearer along the coast, who knows. By the way, you can see the sea from Choseley at certain points. The road I was using to get from Titchwell, you can see the sea in your rear view mirror. I can just about see the top in the very far distance over there of some of the wind turbines that are in the sea. Can't see the sea itself because it's behind a hill, but at certain points in this place you can see it. It's not a very good view obviously because you're not close enough, but obviously you'd have to go down to the coast to actually get a better view of it, of course. There's the parish notice board and the plaque in it at these houses, and then the junction is up here. It's kind of a staggered junction, isn't it? I mean, there are 5 roads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might even be 6 actually. There might be a 6th one somewhere if I remember the map, but there's definitely at least 5. So it is a proper junction, Choseley. It really is, for cars to come through to go elsewhere. So that's why there's a bit of traffic here. Docking, I don't know what's in Docking. There might be some shops there. 2.5 miles away to the south. So here we are back at the junction, and oh, that house, by the way, on the corner, which we saw, 1893, and it's called Christmas Cottage. What a nice name. What a nice name for a house. I mean, it's not very Christmassy at the moment because it's May, but I imagine it does get decked out at Christmas, just like everywhere else does. I wonder if there's a Christmas tree in this village. It's maybe placed there, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? There might be a tree, I don't know. But then again, it would need a power supply. Probably have to come from one of the houses, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be a communal supply. So anyway, we're heading back south now, back to where the car is. This feels kind of weird having the camera running this long, to be honest with you, but like I said, I'm doing it because I want to make sure I've got enough footage for an 8-minute video. Oh, more cars. I think that's probably the only bad thing about this place. With the fact that there's no footpath means that you have to be careful if you're walking through it, because otherwise, yeah, you're okay. Otherwise, you've got to watch your back for cars coming, because there's more than you might expect out here, to be honest. So we're nearly at that piece of hard standing again, where my car is parked, safely out of the way, by the way. I was kind of surprised by this little piece of concrete, to be honest, because I expected this one to be quite a difficult place to park in because of these narrow roads. They're only really wide enough for one car, mostly, as you've seen with those cars that have come past me. I know you can get two side by side, but it's quite difficult. But this was a godsend, really, for this one. Here we are, we're back to where we began. Amazing, isn't it amazing? You know, we can walk around all these villages that are massive, ones that take me hours to walk around, and then all of a sudden you find one like this, and it's a world away, isn't it? But it's still worth covering, because, you know, the idea is to put them all on the map, and Choseley has certainly got its video, and I've definitely got more than 8 minutes worth of footage now, so I can sign off. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and this has been the parish of Choseley, and I'm out.